Alright, solving linear equations. We'll figure out why they're called linear equations later. But right now, let's just start with a question. Is 1 a solution to this equation? And the way you can tell it's an equation is it has an equal sign. That's what makes it an equation. So let's find out. If you plug in 1, does that give us 7? Yes. Yes, it is a solution. 1 is a solution because 3 times 1 plus 4 equals 7. This little x here is called either an unknown or a variable. And what it means is you can place any number you want in there. Some are going to give you true answers, some are going to give you false answers. And we're looking for the actual solution. So, if you go to this first problem we have right here, it's asking us what take away 3 will equal 2. So what number will get take away 3 will equal to 5. Exactly. So x is equal to 5. That is our answer. That is the solution to the equation. We're just trying to find the answer here. The other option is this, and this is what we're going to be doing and focusing on for the rest of these solving sections, and it's actually solving the equation. And we have one basic rule. You can do anything you want to one side as long as you do it to the other. You cannot multiply by 0 to both sides, though. There are some little restrictions to what you can do, but if you want to get rid of this 3, you add 3, because negative 3 plus 3 would give us 0. They will cancel. But if you add 3 to one side, you must add 3 to the other. You have to think of it as a little balanced scale. You have to keep it equal. And so what's left on the left is an x, and on the right is a 5. The whole point is to eliminate everything that's around the x. And you always think of that equal sign as separating it into two sides. Okay? So over here, what do we need to get rid of? Exactly, the minus 2. So if we put a plus 2, it will cancel. But if you add 2 to this side, you have to add 2 to the other side. And again, the equal sign is separating it into two sides. So you get x equals 6. Alright, next one. If you look at the negative 3, it's being multiplied to the x. So that means we have to do the opposite, which is divide. Because what is negative 3 divided by negative 3? It's 1. And so we get 1x. But if you divide this side by negative 3, you have to divide the other side. So x equals negative 5. And then on the next one, what's being done to the x? Well, we're dividing it by negative 2, which means we have to do the opposite, which is a multiply by negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 1. But if you multiply the left, you must multiply the right, so that gives us 6. So x equals 6. So just the technique here is all you're doing is looking at the x, and whatever operation is being done to the x, you're going to do the opposite. So if we're subtracting an x, you add. If you're subtracting a 3, you add 3 to both sides. If you're adding a negative 2, you must add 2 to both sides. If you are adding a number, you'd subtract both sides by that number. If you're dividing, you multiply. Sorry, if you're dividing, you multiply, and if you're multiplying, you're dividing. You use the opposite operation. And you still want to check it. So if we take that number, negative 2 plus 6 equals 4, and that checks. Negative 3 times negative 5, does that give us 15? Yes. And then 6 divided by negative 2 equals negative 3. Does that check? Yes. So we're just taking that x value, plugging it back in, and making sure it checks out. And if they do, it's 100% correct. That's why equations are so beautiful. Alright, so I want you to try these 3 problems. Hit pause on your video and give them a shot right now. So remember, opposite signs. If you get them wrong, you can always rewind. So just give them a shot. Hit pause now. And there are the answers. So again, if we check them all, they all should work out. So over here, let's just go through it real quick. We had plus 7, so we subtracted 7 from both sides. You have minus 5, so we add 5 to both sides. We had multiply by 8, so we divide by 8. And then we have division by negative 7, so we multiply by negative 7. We're always doing the opposite operation to cancel it. That's it. It's not the opposite of the number, it's the opposite of the operation. Okay? But we're just basically, you want to think about each problem. What can I do to get rid of this number? What can I do to get rid of this number? And what can I do to get rid of this number? It has to be an operation that cancels it. Let's look at one basic idea on why this is working. So let's just say that we have an x plus 5 equals 7. So what this actually represents is this. You have one little x, and we'll call these 7s. Let me pick a different color. We'll call these the 5s. Just try this again. We'll call these the 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then over here we have 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then one more. 7. Okay, so what's actually happening is this. You have two different items here. We have the X, which is a circle, and then we have 5. These 5 and the 7, they represent some number. We don't just throw numbers out there. Numbers represent something. It could be 5 animals, 5 cookies, 5, I don't know, donuts, whatever you want to think of, but they are 5. So here we represent them as rectangles. We have 5 rectangles and 7 rectangles. Now if this is an equation, then we have two sides. We have something that's balancing it. It's kind of like a little scale, and we have to keep them equal. So if you want to find out what this 1x is, what we're going to do is come back through here, and we're going to erase them. So we get rid of 1 here. But if you get rid of 1 on that side, you have to get 1 over here. If you get rid of 1 here, you get rid of 1 here. You get rid of 1 here, you get rid of 1 there. And so on. You just keep taking them equally across. And at the very end, you'll see that it says 1 circle is the same as 2. Alright? So if we solve that, what we're doing is we're getting rid of those 5. But if you get rid of 5 on this side, you have to get rid of 5 on that side. Those don't cancel though. And that gives us 2 left over and x. So all we're doing is taking the stuff that's on the x side and we're removing it. But if you remove it from that side, you have to remove it from the other. And how we remove it, it depends on the operation. If it's an addition, you subtract it away. If it's a subtraction, you have to add it into it. If it's a multiplication, you have to divide it away. And if it's a division, you have to multiply it away. Here, I'll show you one with division. So if you have 2x equals 24. Let's not do 24 because that's going to be a long time. We'll do 4. And again, I'll use circles, little green circles. So we have 2 of them. 1, 2. Right? And then on the other side, we have 4 rectangles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the whole point is to find out how much does one little rectangle weigh. Well, if you pair them up right here, and you pair these up, you can see that 1 circle is the same as 2. What that's actually doing is we're dividing it into 2. We're dividing it into 2 groups. So that's why we are going to take that 2x equals 4 and divide both sides by 2. That gives us x equals 2. We're taking and dividing this in half, basically, into 2 different groups. Okay, so again, thank you.